In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, some top tier Pokemon abilities have been nerfed. We'll only be covering these updated abilities, so if you want to remain spoiler free of new Pokemon, you should be safe with this video. Both Greninja's Protean and Battle Bond have been nerfed. Protean only works once each time the Pokemon is on the field, and Battle Bond was reworded. It no longer says it transforms you to Ash Greninja, but when you knock out a Pokemon, it boosts your attack, special attack, and speed. Both Zacian's Intrepid Sword and Zamazenta's Dauntless Shield only activate the first time the Pokemon enters a battle, so you can't switch out and come back in and get a +1 again. There were also rumors that both Intimidate and Contrary were nerfed, but this was proven false as the description of these moves matched previous games. Let's take a closer look at the Pokemon affected. We're going to start with talking about Protean Greninja, and I am not alone. I got my boy Blunder. Blunder, what do you think about Protean Greninja now that it has been nerfed?
Well, me and Joe were just talking about this, guys, and now that Protean has been nerfed, which, by the way, I'm a fan of. I thought Greninja was... Greninja is one of my favorite Pokemon, but both of its abilities made it just too much of a top dog back in Gen 7, and then I didn't like that they just didn't bring it back to deal with the fact that it was too strong. So I like that we finally hit a healthy balance with this. So with Greninja, I was telling Joe that I think the Scarf set is now absolutely going to be its best set, because this is the set that is most unaffected by the Protean change. Scarf Gren was always really solid. It's still a support Pokemon with spikes. We're in a very offensive metagame too, judging by, a lot of the new things that we found out. And so, yeah, I think Scarf is really just going to be the way to go. Greninja's offensive stats are not very good without Protean's boost. So I do not think an all-out attacker set is going to be valid the way it was.
Fair. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Or 2 generations ago.
Exactly. Yeah. And just to reiterate, first off, we still don't even know if Greninja's in the game. We just know how the ability works now, because this could be for Kecleon technically, right? Like this could be because of Kecleon. Sure. But
hope not.
I agree. So the way Protean works, to explain it even more, it only works once when you're in. So for example, I have Greninja on the field and I go for Spike. Spike turns me into a ground type. Now I click Ice Beam. I'm still going to stay a ground type. Previously, you would become an ice type whenever you click Ice Beam. You'd become a water type, pure water type, if you click Hydro Pump. You'd become a fire type if you click Hidden Power Fire. So it changes up Greninja a lot. But the reason Blunder said Scarf is because Scarf is only locked into one move anyway. So it becomes that typing anyway. So yeah, I agree. For Scarf, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. And also, if you guys like these videos, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, let us know your thoughts down below, and sub to Blunder too. He's uploading a bunch of great content. We got so much content coming out with Scarlet and Violet, like so much.
And also definitely give us your guys' opinion down below. You got to remember, it's a new gen. So the game is pretty, like the level of everybody's balanced. So we want to know, what do you guys think is going to be good? What's going to be bad? There's going to be so much stuff that in the first couple months of this game, people don't even know is secretly good or broken or whatever the case is. So
yeah, exactly.
Start thinking.
Exactly. So I do think though that there's still merit to like Expert Belt or Life Orb, mainly because one way you would take advantage of Greninja is you knew that it had to switch up its typing to hit you, right?
Yeah.
Like Rotom, for instance, might Volt Switch twice on Greninja, even though it goes for Spike, just because its next move isn't going to do that.
Because if you Spike onto Hydro, you just lost your Gren, and that's not worth the Spike.
Exactly. Exactly. So like, there's definitely ways that you could take advantage of this one, but and I still think that, I come in, I go for Ice Beam, I become Ice Type, I switch out, I come back in, I go for Low Kick, I become a Fighting Type, I switch out. Like it's still, there's still merit to offensive Greninja.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
and the speed will always be amazing. The metagame is definitely really fast now, so that's something to consider as well. But I do think that Spikes is just going to be the #1 set. Yeah. The Scarf set.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you. I do think it actually changes Cinderace quite a bit, because we didn't mention it in the beginning, guys, but Libero has also changed too. So the reason I think it changes Cinderace is because, for the most part, you're going to go for Power Ball or High Jump Kick, right? Or you could just be U-turning around on Slowbro. But like, let's say I Power Ball into Slowbro coming in. Now I can go for U-turn after, but I'm pure Fire type no matter what. So it kind of it weakens the U-turn. Instead of coming off of 116,
you can never really have that strong U-turn, which I kind of like, because that's
what made it broken.
That's what made it broken.
Exactly.
There's no way it's broken now, because with this weak ass U-turn, it doesn't matter. You're always gonna get walled by Slowbro. You're always gonna get cooked by Hippo and all of them. This weak ass U-turn isn't gonna hurt anybody.
Exactly. Or if I bulk up, I become pure fighting the entire time. So, which isn't bad. Like pure fighting is
so hilarious. I remember when they banned this shit.
It deserved it. It deserved it. It
definitely deserved it. One thing I wanted to say real quick. Even though we went past Gren, we're now definitely gonna see Grens with Hydro Pump, because
they need
back
water
then Protean never needed Hydro. It wasn't even one of its good moves. But now it's fucking weak unless you have Hydro.
Exactly.
You can't go for any actual strong move. So yeah.
Yeah, it basically becomes Starmie. It's literally Starmie at that point, right? It's only a couple points stronger than Starmie. So
Yeah, and it's faster. It's definitely like Starmie.
exactly.
Good comparison.
Or even like an Inteleon with spikes, right?
Yeah,
It's literally Inteleon with spikes.
I love Inteleon.
Now, again, Cinderace, we do have Greninja. So Battlebond Greninja. Now, this is a nerf, but I'm not 100% sure it's a nerf. So the way the wording says is, when the Pokemon knocks out a target, its bonds with its trainer is strengthened, and its attack, special attack, and speed stats are boosted. Now, if you guys didn't know about Greninja to Ash Greninja, obviously its speed, special attack, and attack were boosted, period. That was literally what happened to Greninja. However, it said it becomes Ash Greninja. It would used to say it transformed to Ash Greninja. So obviously this is not going to be the case. I'm assuming it's going to be like a 1.5 times boost, which is...
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be +1 to special attack, speed, and...
Yeah, it's like a half Geomancy, right? Or like like an offensive quiver day. Something. It's some mix. It's some mix of those.
But you're not Ash Gren, which
Exactly.
is definitely
big.
tough.
It's big because first off, these boosts don't stay, right? And Greninja,
Yes,
Ash Gren is one of
exactly.
those mons that can come in, do a lot
Once
of damage,
you
and
get
switch
the
out.
Ash Gren form off, it's such a relief because you can switch out and you know in the back of your head, I have that Water Shuriken, I have that Dark Pulse Nuke. Like, think when you get that Ash Gren evolution off in the back of your head, it's so easy to think, okay, I'm not really worried about their defensive guy. I'm gonna 2-hit KO it with Gren. I'm not really afraid
I'm faster
of
than
their
Tapu
offensive
Koko
guy.
because I'm faster.
I'm gonna Shuriken it.
Exactly,
Yup.
or I'm
oh,
faster.
Yeah, I forgot this trash is 399 speed.
Exactly,
It's so cheap.
exactly.
This is such a cheap Pokemon.
So this is a nerf, right? But
Why wasn't this Uber?
yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's so
It used
cheap
to be able to
looking
be
at
everything.
the
It just
stats.
spikes on its counters and then
Super
comes back in.
Kyogre was
Exactly. But it doesn't say this only happens once. So that's where the text is a little bit interesting because
Yeah.
what if I beat my opponent? I now have attack, special attack, and speed, so they can't counter me with a Choice Scarf Pokemon. And I have a higher attack and special attack. And what if I
And
knock them out
and
again?
let's just say your specs too.
Yeah,
Because
let's
who doesn't want to fire off specs Dark
Yeah,
Pulse?
yeah. Let's assume I'm Choice Specs 2. Why not? So let's assume I'm Choice Specs 2. Do I get a second boost if I knock out another Pokemon?
If that's the case, then this becomes pretty insane.
Yeah,
But
it's-
I don't know. I don't feel like it's gonna be the
It
case.
doesn't. If that's not the case, it's fine. Obviously, it's still a nerf because Ash Greninja is
Yeah.
broken, right? You don't get its stats immediately versus like,
Yo, you're right though.
Yeah,
If this is like you keep getting +1, then Specs Dark Pulse is gonna be a nasty,
exactly.
nasty
That's what I'm
cleaner.
thinking too. But it's not
You're
guaranteed.
gonna have to run 6
Priority
You're
mons.
gonna have to run 6 priority and what's it called? All dark resist. But one thing, not having Water Shuriken is insane.
Yeah, and also
Water
you gotta
Shuriken
remember
was
Water
literally
Shuriken.
the most
Yeah,
broken move ever.
you gotta remember too. Water Shuriken goes when it becomes that Greninja. It goes from 15 base power to 25.
To 25 with guaranteed 3. This 15 BP is ass.
It's garbage. Yep.
And Pokemon realized that Water Shuriken wasn't broken enough, which is exactly why they created Surging Strikes. But regardless, yeah.
But it has
Water
potential to be crazy. But I think that Ash Greninja is just always better.
If you do get +1 repeatedly, then Specs Dark Pulse will be a really insane set, and I'm really curious to see how that's gonna be.
Exactly. And this is the biggest one. This Pokemon, Zacian, is literally banned from tiers with legends, right? It's banned from Ubers if you play singles.
Being kicked anything goes is crazy.
So exactly. So the way Intrepid Sword used to work on switching,
Both
this
of them are
Pokemon,
banned, right?
yeah. Well, both Zacian and both Hero Zacian and
Both Zacian, him and his big bro.
Yeah, both Zacian and Zacian with the sword in its mouth are banned, right? It doesn't matter. They're both banned. So the way it used to work is on switching, this Pokemon's attack is raised by 1 stage. And you gotta remember that Zacian was used at Worlds, and they take a lot of VGC and Battle Stadium singles into account when it comes to nerfing and buffing things. So instead of that, it only boosts the first time it enters a battle, ever.
Yeah.
So if I send out Zacian as a lead, it gets +1 attack, and I have to switch out. I come back in, I never get that +1 attack again. Now you might be thinking, well, this Pokemon is 130 base attack on this set. Like, it's still pretty strong. Not in this metagame. Not in this metagame. And there's honestly, like, you see the other one is 170 versus it. Like, this mod was broken because it had this on top of a choice band boost for it. But now it can't.
Yeah,
so this
the
one is
attack
locked
set
in.
is already very broken.
Exactly.
Right? And then the speed is, like, very stupid, too. Like, well, this mon in general, this distribution is extremely broken.
Yeah, it's broken.
But,
But-
and it has the best typing in the game alongside Steel Ghost.
Yes, very still. Agreed. But I mean, this
What a
one's
funny
still going to
mod.
be crazy. But this
Yeah,
one,
for sure.
this one can still Swords
But no,
Dance.
for sure though, having this ability nerf is a big deal because also keep in mind that once you use it one time, then you have no ability.
It's done. Yeah.
Having no ability sucks. Technically, you're weaker than Genesect then.
Yeah.
As this Pokemon.
Yeah,
you know?
because
this
Genesect
thing
gets
has
a download boost.
and download
versus-
doesn't go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Or so we know. But,
Exactly.
yeah.
From what we know, yeah. Exactly. So it's a huge nerf to Zacian. Will Zacian still be strong? Yes.
Absolutely.
Base 170 attack. The other one's base 135 or whatever.
You think it's gonna keep that move, Behemoth Blade, assuming Dynamax is gone?
I think it still will keep it. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Sure,
but
sure. 'Cause that's just a great move.
Yeah, it's just a good. It's good
general.
steal. It's just
Super
good
great
steal
move.
in general. Exactly. But still, giant nerf for Zacian. Maybe if it comes back and it's in Ubers, I don't think it'd be banned this time, right? Like you can actually wall it with Pokemon to an extent, at least in terms of Uber standards. And then the last one is Zamazenta. Now this one doesn't matter as much because Zamazenta is not very good, unfortunately, because they didn't give it body press. Zamazenta was never really good, but they did nerf its Dauntless Shield for no reason. Literally no reason, because again, this mon had like no usage. But the Dauntless Shield sucks that they nerfed it because its biggest thing was its ability to check stuff, right? With its +1 defense. It's still super bulky, but I don't know. They never gave it body press. In the generation they introduced body press for the Pokemon that should have had it. I don't know. This isn't this like...
this guy not getting body press was because they thought he would go to quadruple Ubers, but then instead, I made a troll and he got tested.
And then they made Zacian, the sister, I believe, just ridiculously strong compared. Like this mon could have been really good with body press.
Zamazenta's the funniest Pokemon of all time. Clown ass mon.
It's crazy. Yeah, we tested that mon in OU. That's how bad like the mon was.
That was the most hilarious thing of all time. Shit is fighting Steel Lugia.
I wonder if we could actually use it in OU again. Like guys, let us know that. For those that play competitive, OU is the tier that we're talking about. Do you think that it could come back down?
These guys could, yeah.
This one.
Only Howl.
It only gets Howl. But it doesn't have the +1 defense to set up. Like it still has insane defense. Don't get me wrong, but like
+1 defense is so funny.
Yeah, but like 115.92 isn't the greatest thing in the world.
This thing is ass for sure. This is the one, right, that they tested.
Yes.
This 130 attack, 138 speed. This thing with no Dauntless Shield.
Oh no, it was no, it wasn't this one. It was the one that couldn't hold items.
Oh. Right, that's the one that's broken. Right, because
it's the 145, 145, 128. Right. Like it's still bulky. Don't get me wrong. 326 is insane.
This is so hilarious. What were they cooking?
But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
this is a gigantic nerf for sure. I think Zacian is still gonna likely be. Zacian is so like just. They gave him too many tools. Zacian's the richest man of all time. Like they gave it everything.
Bro, it's like when they decided to like mega evolve a Tyranitar or Salamence. They gave
Charizard 2 of them shits.
Yeah, why? They gave already like a fine Pokemon even more. And then instead of giving to the poor Beedrills out, the Beedrill got one. Instead of giving to the Parasects of the world,
for real,
they gave it to the Mewtwo's. They literally gave it to Mewtwo. Like so, let us know your thoughts, guys. These mons are going to be extremely... I think Greninja is a big nerf, obviously, for everything it is. For Zacian, it's usable now. Like, it won't be crazy. And this is not to say these Pokemon are in the game. These are just, the data was there for when they found it. So let us know down below. Subscribe to me, Sub the Blender. Also, if you guys want to pick up Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I do have a Best Buy affiliate link down below. If you buy anything from those links, not just like those are the links are for the physical copies, but if you buy the digital copies from my links, you can get it too. Or if you just navigate to a laptop or a pencil or whatever you want on Best Buy, you support me. So subscribe. We're doing some content on Blender's channel too. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.